I've literally got ready. I had a shower and I've got ready all again just for this video. I just wanted to go in my pyjamas, but no, been finding it hard to find time. Not actually that busy, but because the days are so like short, it starts getting dark really early, so I'm struggling to like fit it in when I get back from like work or school, whatever. But now I've got time and I'm wasting it, so let's get into it. So today I want to talk about something that was such a big challenge for me in recovery, which was stopping counting calories. I would say it probably stopped about 6 months ago, maybe more. That's when it completely stopped. Because I stopped sort of counting calories in a day about maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago, when I was on like meal plans, because quite frankly I didn't want to know, because I think the number would scare me. So but I was still like counting calories for each sort of meal, if that makes sense, or snack, or time of the day, or what have I eaten for or this time, or what I've had between this and it was so consuming. So what I'll do first is say the most annoying things about calorie counting and why you shouldn't do it. One, because it takes up so much time and energy and anxiety. When you get a number, you attach a feeling to it. So maybe if it was more than you expected, maybe you've had more calories than you thought, or you had yesterday or something, you're attaching negative emotion to food, which you don't want to be doing in recovery. That's kind of the point, is that you want to be food not to be bad or good, you want it just to be food. And if you're feeling negative about having more calories, then food is dictating how you feel, which was what the eating disorder basically did, and that's what we're trying to get rid of. So it's really important for calories not to have sort of that connect with your emotions. So that's quite a big reason why calorie counting, bless her, that's such a big reason why calorie counting is pretty negative. Another reason was it's not what you want to be doing when you're recovered, so you don't want to have to do that for the rest of your life, because it's bloody boring. It's really boring and a real waste of your precious life. You're never going to look back when you're 80 years old and go, I'm so glad I was calorie counting. You're not. The amount of time I've already lost in the 3 years calorie counting, I'd have saved so much time and energy, done other things, and put my mind to something else like work or something. It really does detract from your life. And also in social situations, if I'm busy calculating in my head, I'm not going to be present. So that's another reason. Okay, so on to the main event, tips to stop calorie counting. Well, it is tips, because it's how I did it, but I know that one size doesn't fit all in recovery, so I'll go for a few things, and maybe some things will help, some things won't, and just pick and choose. So the first way I stopped calorie counting was, this is probably the biggest one, was buying foods that you don't know the calories for. So whether that's from a restaurant, so let's go for a restaurant first, make sure there isn't calories on the menu. It's really annoying because it's quite easy to find restaurants that have calories on the menu, but if you know that they do, maybe try and ear people the other way. I know for a fact that Wetherspoons in the UK, that has calories on the menu, and that's not helpful at all. And so it's a lot of chains actually don't have the calories, so maybe, and lots of independent places actually don't have calories either, so maybe if you just try and steer people in the direction of one of them. And with that, what I used to do was, I don't really want to give you the idea of it, but I guess it's quite obvious. So looking online, sometimes they have the nutritional values online. Don't do that. You're just punishing yourself. You're just taking yourself a step back in the recovery, so just don't look it up. You don't need to know. It shouldn't have to sway your choices. You don't want it to be like that in the future. You don't want to have that anxiety of, I can't find the nutritional values online, don't know how many calories in. Just, it's easier said than done, I know, but it's something you just got to cut out. Go into places where you know the calories really hard, and really, really hard mentally. So that's one thing, going to restaurants where you don't know the calories and just picking what you fancy. I know that's a big idea, but that's what you want to be able to do, especially later in recovery. It should really be getting to the points where you're just choosing what you want, and it doesn't matter if you think it's got more calories in there. But I understand that there's still sort of little calculations in your head which goes on, which I'll get on to in a bit. Another way is on the is by going to like bakeries and getting bread from butchers which you're not like pre-sliced, things like that. Just places where you just don't know the calories. Another way is when, say, your parents go shopping, if you have a very good support system around you, or maybe you could do it yourself, just with the boxes, get them to empty out the, say cereal bars. They come in like things. They don't have the calories on the actual wrappers generally, so if in the box does. So if you just say, can you just empty them out so they're not in a box and put them in maybe a different container in the cupboard, then you won't know. You can guess what you want, but you won't know exactly. So that, and when you don't know less and less and less, your estimates start to become way off, and then you're like, what's the point in this? 'Cause I have no clue. So that's another way of doing it. What I was going to say on that bit was sometimes there's like the temptation from when you get something from the bakery to look it up online, which is, quite frankly, it's just like I was saying about looking at the menu. It's just a step back, because that shouldn't be something that's concerning you when you're fully recovered. So try and avoid that. And a mindset to try and avoid that is that's going to be so out. Because quite frankly, what you get from the bakery is going to be different from what Google says. Like, it is going to, you can, and also with guessing, you can guess, but it's going to be way out. Google's going to be way out. It doesn't know exactly. So generally, by the time you get to the end of the day and you've had all of these, maybe this, that, maybe it's that, maybe it's that, you're so out that it's so sort of pointless. It's so inaccurate. There really is no point to doing it, because you can't guess it correctly. You're not going to guess it correctly. You might guess them all way more than they actually are, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I've had so many calories, but you've actually had so many less, and that's not going to put you in the right direction. Or you might count it as so much less, but like, woohoo. Well, the eating disorder is like, woohoo, but you've actually had a lot more. There's no point. I hate to say it, I do like, that's silly, I love to say it. Another way to stop sort of counting calories is, the biggest one is throwing away the kitchen scales. If you haven't already, put them in the bin, get your mum to hide them, whatever. Don't weigh the food. For example, cereal, if you're weighing it to get the calories, you know pretty much exactly how many it is. Instead, how about getting someone to pour out your portion size and just putting like a fill line on the outside of the bowl, don't really want mark on the inside, put in a fill line and then you just fill it up to then. So you know you're getting the right amount, how much you need for your meal plan, but you don't actually know how many grams that is and you don't know the calories. Same with drinks, just put a fill line on it. I think that's generally quite helpful. So you can't really work it out mentally, it's just an amount that you have to have minimum. Another way is smoothies. Personally, I don't have a blender. I've never really had a blender, so I never did this, but it's one that I've heard people rave about. Is making smoothie and just chucking things in, or get someone to make it for you. Actually, I had milkshakes. I used to have milkshakes, and my mum used to put like ice cream and chocolate sauce and all of that sort of good stuff in it. But say with smoothies, you just mindlessly put through a bit of honey, some yogurt, some whatever you want. Just put it in there. And then hopefully you're not so like, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of honey, that sort of thing. You're just doing it, just do it mindlessly, just scoops of yogurt, just do it. And try not to think about it, just do it all as quick as you can, get it done, blend it, drink it. And it's really hard to guess how many calories you've got in that. So that's another way that I've heard is very useful for people to stop counting calories. Final bit before I end the video is, as you become more recovered, the less you care, because your brain starts to recover. It does take a bit of a while to catch up for some people more than others, but it does take, your brain does recover, and you eventually do care less and less, and then you might get for a day and go, actually, I have no clue. You'll have that day where I genuinely don't know, and you just haven't really thought about it, and that's lovely. It's like peace. And to be honest, if that's anything to work towards, just actions, getting fully recovered so calories don't matter, really don't. And that's such a lovely place to be, and that's definitely something you can get to 100% if you put in the work. Use some of my advice if you want to. Just actions, challenge fear foods, all of that eventually gets to the point of recovery where it literally has no significance to you. So that's where I'm going to end the video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't rambled too much. I hope I haven't just verbal diarrheaed again, because that's what I tend to do. I start talking and then I literally haven't breathed for 10 minutes. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to check out my other videos, I think there's some quite useful ones in there. Feel free to subscribe if you find my videos useful, because I do upload pretty regularly, probably about 3-4 times a week at the moment, which is, we'll see how long that lasts. No, I will. I'm really enjoying it actually. So keep smashing recovery, guys. I'm really proud of every single one of you for looking for support and help, and that I hope I can provide you, because I can help you with recovery, because that's exactly what my channel's here for. So let's smash it. Have a good couple days, really challenge yourself. Feel free to use any of my techniques, and I'll see you soon.